Good evening to all pro wrestling fans of all shapes and sizes from all around the world. Welcome back to another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. Pardon me. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, now that I actually got back in town, got settled in and whatnot, wanted to do another review. This time, going to review WWE NXT's Stand and Deliver 2025. That happened while I was in Vegas. I didn't go to the show, but I did get around to watching it in its entirety. So I wanted to get on here and review it. So, Stand and Deliver 2025 took place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Overall, good show. It had one pre-show match. There was one pre-show match. A total of 7 matches. So, got my graphics up. Let's go ahead and jump right into it, shall we? Alright, here's the pre-show match. Okay. The pre-show came down to a fatal 4-way tag team elimination match where the winning team would become the number 1 contenders to the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. So, the teams that competed. You had the Metaphor, which is Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. You had Cora, Jade, and Roxanne Perez. You had Fatal Influences, Jacy, Jayne, and Fallon Henley. And you had Gigi, Dolin, Tatum, Paxley. Overall, pretty good match. Very action-packed. Lasted almost 13 minutes. A big turning point, of course, was when Roxanne Perez ended up leaving Cora Jade high and dry. And, of course, that would eventually lead to their downfall. But, honestly, not surprised there. I would have thought something would have picked up about that more so later. But then again, Roxanne Perez is pretty much going to be on the main roster full time in a matter of moments. But when it all came down to it, Gigi Dolin and Tatum Paxley were your winners, and became number 1 contenders. Honestly, more and more, I'm really starting to like this trio of Shotzi, Gigi Dolin, and Tatum Paxley. I think they're a really good trio, and Gigi and Tatum have been a really good team together so far. So, not really surprised that they won this match. But good on them. Good victory. Alright, and then the main card started with this first match. Here it is. First up, we had the NXT North American Championship on the line as the champion, Ricky Saints, defended against All Ego Ethan Page. Pretty back and forth match. Ricky Saints has really been busy since stepping foot into NXT, and I just really like how they've been utilizing him and really getting him active. And then we got these two going at it. Pretty back and forth. Match lasted a little over 12 minutes 40 seconds. But Ricky Saints was able to get the best of Ethan Page. He eventually hit the Rochambeau and then pinned him for the 1-2-3. Ricky Saints, still your NXT North American champion. But yeah, pretty good match. All right. Let's go to our next matchup. Alrighty, we have the NXT Tag Team Championships on the line. As the champs, Fraxiom, that's Nathan Frazer and Axiom, defending against Hank and Tank, Tank Ledger and Hank Walker. Pretty solid tag team match. Like I said, I've really liked Fraxiom. I've met Fraxiom while I was at WWE World. Really liked what I saw from this match. Was just under 14 minutes. So, you know, about 13 minutes, 55 seconds. Not bad. And I have to say, I was actually pretty surprised with the outcome. I did not think it would turn out this way, but you know what? Kudos for the finish. Hank and Tank hit a pretty nifty. It was like a running power slam shoulder tackle combo. It was really interesting. I don't know what they call that, but they hit that. I believe they hit that on Fraxiom, or not Fraxiom, on Nathan Frazer, I believe, if I remember correctly, he took the pin. But yeah, they hit that double team finisher, and Hank and Tank are your new NXT Tag Team Champions. I did not expect them to win, to be honest with you. That was quite a shock. But you know what? Fraxiom had a great run, and you know, it is what it is. But I think overall they had a great run. They had a great run. Let's see. They were tag champs for 230 days. And they've had 9 successful defenses, lost on the 10th. So you know what? That second run for them was really good. That second run was really good. You know, first one wasn't bad. They got in 5 defenses and lost on the 6th. So, I mean, honestly, I think it's just time for Fraxiom to get called up to the main roster, in all honesty, if you ask me. So, but, you know, they had a great run. They had a great run. So, good for them. But congratulations to Hank and Tank on becoming the new tag champs. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to our next match. Let me get the graphics up for this. Because this next match was definitely one of my favorites. This was definitely one of my favorites of the whole entire show. Here it is. All right, check it out. All right, this was the ladder match for the vacant NXT Women's North American Championship. Who did we have? We had Zaria. We had Thea Hale. We had Lola Vice, Kelani Jordan, Sol Ruca, and Izzi Dane. That's quite a lineup, y'all. That is quite a lineup. In all honesty, I don't think you could have gone with a better lineup to compete for this title. So this was awesome. This was actually really awesome. Match went over 14 and a half minutes. And it was very action-packed. A lot of cool spots with the ladder, especially involving high flyers like Sol Ruca, Thea Hale, Kelani Jordan. I mean, there were a lot of great spots there. To be honest, either of these ladies, well, other than Izzi Dame, if I'm being honest, could have been a very suitable champion. And I really liked the face-off at the top of the ladder between Zaria and Sol Ruca. I thought that was really cool. Because, I mean, after all, this was every woman for himself. But I did like the finish. I definitely liked the finish. A great finish there. With Sol Ruca using her legs and her agility to throw Zaria off. And then pretty much skin the cat on the ladder to get herself into position to grab the title. And ladies and gentlemen, Sol Ruca is your new NXT Women's North American Champion. Not only that, spoiler alert, she also dethroned Candice LeRae to become the WWE Women's Speed Champion. So, she's Sol Ruca 2-belt champion. And I know this because I met her at WWE World and she had both championships with her. But this was a big win for Sol Ruca. I did feel like she was eventually going to win that championship, that Women's North American title. So honestly, I'm not that surprised that she won. So congratulations to Sol Ruca. I hope she has a good run. I really do. I could see this, being a decent run, and then maybe she gets the NXT Women's Championship run eventually, and then she gets called to the main roster, if not sooner. But I still think there's a lot of bright things to look forward to for Sol Ruca. But congrats on the victory and becoming NXT Women's North American Champion. All right, next match. Very interesting. So let's see. 1 second. Okay. So he had a street fight that happened between the D'Angelo family. Of course, that's Channing Stacks, Lorenzo, Luca Crusifino, Tony D'Angelo, taking on DarkState, Shaquan Sugars, Dion Lennox, and Osiris Griffin. But yeah. Well, actually, no. I'm sorry. It wasn't a street fight. It was just a regular 6-man tag. It wasn't a street fight. Match lasted a little over 13 minutes. Quite interesting. Very interesting turn of events. There was some questioning with the actions between Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks, Lorenzo. And there was a lot of build-up to this point. So I'm not too surprised that this happened. But the main turning point of the match, which was back and forth, is Stacks turning on Tony D'Angelo and the entire family. Yeah. DarkState cleaned up the mess. Stacks left. Completely turned on the D'Angelo family. DarkState ends up getting the win. Honestly, there was a decent amount of buildup that was going to lead to this. So I can't say that I'm too surprised that this happened. But now the D'Angelo family's in shambles. So, yeah. will be interesting to see how the story goes with that. Okay. Let's go to our next match. This was another excellent match. Here we go. All right, you had the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Women's Championship. The champion, the Dark Angel Stephanie Vaquer, defended against Julia, Jordan Grace, and Miss Jada Parker. A great, solid match between all four of these ladies. Went 16 and a half minutes, so definitely had plenty of time. All four ladies showcased really well. And, you know, it's just another example of just how strong the NXT Women's Division is, which is a lot of these ladies being showcased. I mean, we had 3 women's matches, including the pre-show match, but 3. You know, that's a pretty big deal, y'all. I think this NXT Women's Division is going to get better and better. But it was a great showcase of these 4 women. But when it all came down to it, Stephanie Vaquer was able to take advantage when it meant the most, hit the SBV, and was able to lead to victory. To be honest, I think she's probably going to have this title for a while. My original thought that it was going to come down to Julia and Stephanie Vaquer at Stand and Deliver didn't happen, but at least she was part of it. I mean, it was a fatal 4-way, but at least she was part of it. But I think with, you know, WrestleMania being over and, you know, this new season starting up, it'll be very interesting to see what happens, especially considering Stephanie ended up making an appearance on Raw and having a match with Io Sky. And even appearances from Roxanne Perez as well as Julia. So that says a lot. That definitely says a lot. So good stuff there, but Stephanie Vaquer is still your NXT Women's Champion. And then finally, the main event, which was a solid one. The triple threat for the NXT Championship. Obafemi, the ruler, defending against Trick Williams and Javon Evans. A great, solid match from all 3 competitors that went almost 17 minutes. And, you know, this really was in Obafemi's playground, considering the history of success he's had in triple threat matches. And this was no different. A lot of offense from all 3, and it really came down to the wire. But Obafemi was able to take out both competitors and then eventually hit a fall from grace powerbomb with Javon Evans, pinning him for the 1-2-3. And Obafemi, still your NXT champion. And honestly, I'm not really too sure who's going to be the one to dethrone him. But I think the moment that it happens, he gets called up to the main roster. Because I really think Obafemi is world champion material. I really do. One second, let me move this a little bit. I really think he's world champion material. So I think it's a matter of time. I think it's only a matter of time before that happens for him on the main roster. But we'll see. We'll see. But like I said, great show. Stand and Deliver was really good this year. You know, all the belts were defended, and you know, it was a solid show. It was a very solid show. And you know, with the talent that was on there, like I said, I got to meet Fraxiom while I was at WWE World. I got to meet Ruca at WWE World. Met Julia as well. So it was really good. Oh, Stephanie Vaquer. Met Stephanie Vaquer. So yeah, I will say WWE World is definitely worth it. If you have the opportunity to go, definitely go. So, but that's all I got for NXT Stand and Deliver 2025. Great show. I enjoyed it. But yeah, let me know what y'all's thoughts were. You know, what y'all's overall thoughts on Stand and Deliver. Did you get your predictions right? And yeah, let me know. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell while you're at it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. For another Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. My name is Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed evening, and I will see y'all in the next video and our live stream. Later.